Well, one of my all-time favourite movies is the Maltese Falcon, starring the great Humphrey Bogart along with Peter Lorre and also Sydney Greenstreet. Despite its brilliance, it never won a trophy, the Maltese Falcon. However, harness racing's version of the Maltese Falcon, well, his body of work over nearly 30 years, he's collected 2 golden trophies. I'm pleased to be joined by Michael Formosa. Well, Michael, it's great to catch up after all these years. Before we get on to your wonderful career, the Maltese Falcon, I think Mark McNamara might have come up with that particular coin of phrase.
Yeah, I think Mark, he started it over the loudspeaker when he was calling the races, and it stuck.
It certainly has stuck throughout your wonderful career, as I mentioned. Where did it all begin for you, Michael?
When I was very young, my grandfather had horses, and I used to spend my school holidays down there. I grew up on the Central Coast, and he was from Sydney, so we were in a suburban area and never had horses, so it was only just a part-time thing. We used to go on the holidays. And then once I left school, I sort of went away from the horses until my father bought a horse, and then I ended up hooking up with Ross Chisholm and kicked off from there.
Wonderful man to hook up with. He's been so influential for a lot of young trainer drivers in that particular region over a long course of his wonderful career.
Yeah, he definitely was. He was a great horseman and a great person, and he didn't just teach us about horses, he taught us about life in general, and he was like another father to me and Mark Callaghan, so yeah, we owe a lot to Ross.
Some of these highlights, Michael, of your career, we talk about a horse Bob Bellingham had. I think you had a lot of fun with Commander Mighty.
Yeah, he was a terrific horse. I'd only just basically started driving, got my Metro licence and started driving him. I think I won about 14 or 18 races at Harrow Park with him, and was lucky enough to drive him in a Miracle Mile back in 1997, I think it was. So yeah, it was a great start, and been a long time since I've driven a Miracle Mile since then though.
Well, you certainly drove in an Inter-Dominion, a horse very near and dear to your heart, and also to the family, Ultimate Art.
Yeah, he was a terrific horse. We bought him as a yearling, and it was a great story. And didn't pay much money for him, and won the Gold Crown and progressed on to Open Class horse. He won a heat of the Inter-Dominion in Sydney, and we were lucky enough to go to Perth with him as well, and all the trips all over the countryside with him. So it was a terrific horse to us.
2015, he lined up here in the Inter-Dominion, won by Bow Tie. Now, talk about toughness, dedication, all those words you can think of. Your wife, Kirsty, must have gone through a lot of pain prior to the running of that Inter-Dominion.
Yeah, that's right. We were in the detention barn that weekend, and the sales were on the day before, and I went to the sales, and Kirsty was looking after Thomas, which was his stable name, and she knows I'm very particular about him, and I don't let anything happen to Thomas. You know, it's a big occasion. And I come back from the sales and back to the motel, and she was in hospital, and she'd actually broken her ankle while she was bringing him in out of the paddock. And to her credit, she put him away and rugged him and fed him and looked after him before she took herself off to the hospital with a broken ankle.
I hope you're rewarded for that effort.
She's been looked after. So, yeah, she's been well compensated.
Michael, 2015, as I mentioned, you've got 2 golden trophies next to your name in that lovely trophy cabinet back home. 2015 Shadow Runner.
Yeah, he won the Gold Crown. It was the first Gold Crown at the new track. He was a very, very good 2-year-old. Sam DeMarco trained him, and we had a lot of fun with him that year, and he stepped up as a 3-year-old as well, but he didn't win any major races as a 3-year-old, but he went around in a lot of big races after that.
On the subject of the DeMarco family, Michael, you had a wonderful, and still continue to have a wonderful association with that family.
Yeah, I started driving for Sam when I was with Ross. We used to fast work the horses at Gosford Showground, and Sam was stabled there, and Sam gave me a start, and I had a lot of success with Sam over a number of years, and Sam sort of went into semi-retirement for about 10 years, and when he come back, he got Shadow Runner and another nice horse called Gotta Go Gold, and kicked off the relationship again there.
Well, you certainly can boast some very influential owners throughout your career. The great Jack Newton, one of the nicest gentlemen you could ever come across, John Singleton, Chris Lees, Emilio Rosati, Mick Lombardo. There's some pretty heavy hitters there, and of course Dick McLean, the former president of the Harness Racing Club in Newcastle.
Yeah, that's right. I've been lucky enough to have a lot of good people on my side, and do a lot of nice things for me, give me horses and stand by my side. But yeah, those sort of people, you know, they're very successful in everything they do, and it's a pleasure to train for those guys.
Yeah, it must be a lot of fun meeting up with them on race days, particularly Jack Newton. He's always got plenty of stories to tell.
Yeah, Jack and Dick have been really good friends of mine for a number of years now, and I remember going to Bathurst with them a couple of times and spending the night with them, and they were long nights, put it that way. So terrific guys, yeah, very, very good to me.
Mike, we're about to see another Formosa step into the harness racing world. Your daughter Chloe is now on the brink of joining the ranks.
Yeah, she turned 16 in July, but she's been driving since July last year at the trials, and she actually drives quite well, and I'm quite confident if she really wants to make a go of harness racing, she could really become, you know, quite good at what she does.
I've mentioned a few times, Mike, it's a wonderful area, that Newcastle region, in bringing up plenty of youngsters into the industry.
Yeah, as most harness racing areas, everyone sticks together, especially when they're kids. I mean, when they get a little bit older, it's different, but I know when our kids were young, you know, the older kids would look after them when we were at the races, and you sort of don't get that much anymore. So it was a real pleasure having the kids at the races when they were young, because you knew the older kids were always going to look after them.
Michael, you were in action at Newcastle Paceway last night, which was Friday, and adjacent, the Newcastle Knights were playing. I believe there was a lot of noise filtering through to the track. Yeah,
well, I had a few drives, and while I was on the track, I was asking like the track attendants, you know, who's winning, and they'd say, I think Cronulla was winning, and it was quiet, and then the crowd would roar, and you'd know the Knights were back in front. But yeah, it's quite a big crowd there, and they do make a lot of noise.
And I thought you would have been a Newcastle Knights follower for sure, but that's not the case.
No, I go for St George. My father's name was George, and just when I was a kid, I just automatically started going for St George. And I think when I heard that they'd won 11 premierships in a row, that swayed me.
Well, it's not a bad system to hook your wagon to, but Michael, it's been great catching up with you once again.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.